Let me say something that's going to hit different. You're not lazy. I know that sounds like something your mother tells you when she's trying to make you feel better, but I'm not saying it to comfort you. I'm saying it because it's the truth. And the truth is the only thing that's actually going to fix you. Lazy is not who you are. Lazy is what happens when your identity is broken. And right now, most men are walking around with a broken identity and calling it a personality. They wake up, they procrastinate, they scroll, they start things and quit, they avoid the hard stuff, and then they sit with this quiet voice in the back of their head that says, "I'm just not that kind of person." That voice is lying to you. But here's the thing, you believed it. And the moment you believed it, it became true. Because your brain doesn't perform above your identity, it can't. It won't. Everything you do, every decision, every action, every habit is shaped by one question your subconscious is always asking. Is this what someone like me does? If your identity says you're lazy, your brain finds evidence to confirm it every single day. And every time you sleep in, skip the workout, or quit early, that identity gets stronger. That's not a motivation problem. That's not a discipline problem. That's an identity problem. And the fix isn't another YouTube video, another challenge, another burst of inspiration. The fix is a decision. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to make that decision and how to wire it into your nervous system so that discipline stops being something you have to force and starts being something you simply are. Let's get into it. Here's what the self-improvement industry will never tell you. Willpower doesn't work. Not long-term. Not at scale. Not when you're tired, stressed, or tested. Willpower is a resource, and it runs out. Every study on this says the same thing. Men who rely on willpower to change their behavior fail consistently. They white-knuckle it for a few days, hit a rough moment, and fall back to exactly who they were before. And they blame themselves. They say they don't have enough discipline. They say they're not built for this. They say they've tried and it doesn't work for them. But here's what they never examine: the identity underneath the behavior. Think about this. A man who smokes and desperately wants to quit. You offer him a cigarette. He says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." That's a man fighting his own identity. The identity says smoker. The willpower says no. Eventually, willpower loses. Now take the same man, but now his identity has shifted. Same cigarette. He says, "No thanks, I don't smoke." That's it. It's not a battle. It's just true. The identity does the work. The difference between a man who changes and a man who doesn't is not effort. It's not motivation. It's the story they tell about who they are. And here's what nobody talks about. Your identity was given to you. You didn't choose it. Your parents gave you pieces of it. Your failures gave you pieces of it. Every time someone told you that you weren't enough, a piece went in. Every time you quit something, a piece went in. Every time you avoided discomfort and felt relief, a piece went in. Your current identity is just a collection of evidence your brain has filed over the years. Evidence that says, this is who you are. The most important thing I need you to understand right now is this: that evidence is not permanent. It is not a sentence. It is a file, and you can overwrite it. Starting today. So how do you actually change your identity? Because saying, "just believe you're different," is not a plan. That's a poster on a wall. Here's the real framework. I call it the 3-layer shift. Layer 1. Declare. Before you feel it, before you see evidence of it, before it's comfortable, you declare who you are. Not, "I want to be disciplined." That's a wish. Wishes have an exit strategy. You say, "I am a disciplined man." Present tense. Identity statement. Not future. Now. Write it down. Say it out loud. Put it somewhere you see it every morning. I am the kind of man who does what he says he's going to do. I am a man who builds in silence. I am a man who shows up every day regardless of how I feel. It will feel like a lie at first. That's fine. You're not affirming what's already true. You're declaring what you're becoming. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's repeated. That's how identity was built in the first place. Layer 2. Act from the identity, not toward it. This is the shift that most men never make. Most men think, when I become disciplined, I'll start doing disciplined things. But that's backwards. You become disciplined by doing disciplined things. The actions create the identity, not the other way around. Every morning you make the bed, not because it matters strategically, but because that's what a disciplined man does. You are casting a vote for the identity. Every workout, every kept promise, every time you do the hard thing when you don't want to, that's a vote. You don't need a majority on day one, you just need to start. Every vote counts. Every small win is a brick in the foundation of the man you're declaring yourself to be. Layer 3. Protect the narrative. The most dangerous thing you can do when you're rebuilding your identity is let yourself narrate it wrong. Most men blow it here. They have one bad day. They skip the workout. They make a bad decision. They give in to something they said they wouldn't. And they immediately go back to the old story. See? I knew I couldn't do it. I'm just not that guy. No. Stop. One vote doesn't lose the election. One slip doesn't erase the streak. What kills identity change is not failure. It's the story you tell about the failure. When you slip, here's what a man with a strong identity says. That's not like me. I'm getting back on track tomorrow. That's it. No shame spiral. No 3-day crash. You acknowledge it. You call it out as inconsistent with who you are, and you move forward. That simple reframe keeps the identity intact, and the identity is everything. Now let's make this real, because philosophy without action is just entertainment. Here's the exact implementation for the next 30 days. Day 1 to 3. Write your identity. Sit down, pen and paper, and write 5 sentences that describe the man you are choosing to be. Not the man you hope to become. The man you are, starting now. They should be present, tense, specific, and personal. Not, I am successful. That's vague. Something like, I am a man who wakes up before the world. I am a man who keeps every commitment I make to myself. I am a man who trains his body and mind daily. I am a man who builds wealth in silence. I am a man who does not quit. 5 sentences. Your identity document. Read it every morning before you do anything else. Day 4 to 14, stack identity votes. Pick 3 small daily actions that align with your declared identity. These should take no longer than 30 minutes total. They should be so simple that missing them would be embarrassing. If your identity says disciplined man, make your bed, do 20 push-ups, and read 10 pages. That's it. You're not trying to change your entire life in 2 weeks. You're stacking votes. Every day you do those 3 things, you've cast 3 votes for the man you declared yourself to be. Don't skip days, not because missing once ruins you, but because your brain is watching. Consistency in small things programs belief in big things. Day 15 to 21, raise the standard. By week 3, the small actions should feel like you. Now you raise the bar. Add a harder workout. Add 30 minutes of focused work on your goals. Extend the reading. Make the commitment bigger because the identity is stronger now. You're not trying to transform overnight. You're raising the floor of who you are, step by step, so that the new standard becomes the minimum. Day 22 to 30. Test yourself. In the final week, deliberately put yourself in situations where the old identity would have won. Sleep in one morning, then get up anyway. Skip dinner with people who don't add to your life. Say no to something comfortable. Do the thing you've been avoiding, not to prove something to anyone else. To prove something to yourself. To collect the highest value evidence possible. Evidence that you chose the hard thing freely, that you didn't need to be forced, that you are actually becoming the man you declared. By day 30, you will not be a different person. You will be a more honest version of the man you always had the potential to be. Here's the real conversation. The one I want you to sit with after this video ends. The reason you've called yourself lazy, the reason you've accepted that as true, is because it was easier than the alternative. The alternative is responsibility. If laziness is just who you are, a personality trait, a genetic hand you were dealt, then you're off the hook. You tried. It just didn't work. Some people have it, some people don't. That story is comfortable. That story lets you stay exactly where you are without having to face the real question. The real question is this: what if you're actually capable? What if the man you've been looking for, the disciplined one, the focused one, the one who builds something real, what if he's already in there, and the only thing standing between you and him is the story you decided to believe about yourself? That's terrifying. Because if that's true, then every year you've spent playing small was a choice. Every morning you slept through was a decision. Every goal you abandoned was a failure of identity, not ability. I'm not saying that to hurt you. I'm saying it because the moment you accept that, the moment you stop running from the responsibility of your own capability, everything changes. Because now it's not a mystery. It's a decision. So here's your challenge. Right now, before this video ends, write one identity statement, one sentence. Who are you choosing to be? Not who you want to be someday. Who you are, starting in the next 5 minutes. Write it down. Say it out loud. Mean it. And then go do one thing, just one, that proves it's true. That's it. One statement, one action. That's how it starts. Not with a huge dramatic overhaul, not with a perfect morning routine, not with a month of preparation, with one moment where you choose differently than you have before, and then another, and another, until one day you look back and you don't recognize the man who was calling himself lazy. Not because you forgot him, but because you became something he never believed was possible. That man is waiting, not in the future, not after the circumstances change, right now. He's waiting for you to stop apologizing for him and start becoming him. Stop making excuses for the wrong identity. Get up. Like and subscribe for more videos like this. Awaken the King.